Hi, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last talk of Top Draw 2020. Really thrilled to be a part of that. So this afternoon, we're going to be talking on the key to success, building the right foundations for your business. And I have with me today Sandy Buchanan, who's a furniture maker, and also Nikole Tursi, a milliner. And both of them have been selected for our Crafts Council Hothouse Business Development Programme. So before I start asking Sandy and Nikole some questions, I'm just going to do a brief introduction about the Crafts Council. We are the national agency for contemporary craft, and next year will be our 50th anniversary with lots of celebratory events and new commissions. But in the meantime, we're actually reopening our gallery space on Pentonville Road this coming spring. So do come and visit us we're near Angel in Islington. From the end of April onwards, we'll be delighted to see you. We, as I said, are a contemporary agency for craft. And my particular role in talent development is to support makers and designers through their business development, whether they're just starting out or have been practicing for a long time. And the sorts of things that we offer are one-to-one advice, talks like this, free online resources, workshops, our online directory to promote designer makers, and also opportunities online, such as opportunities with the National Trust, one of our partner organisations. But we also have a long-term business development programme called Hothouse, and that takes a selected group of designer makers through a series of workshops, mentoring, peer-to-peer support, and very much a launchpad of their businesses. So I have invited Sandy and Nikole here this afternoon to come and talk about their business so far and the next steps that they're making before they embark on their journey with us on the Hothouse programme, which starts next month. So the first question is to Sandy. Can you share an overview of your business journey so far?
Sure, thank you very much. So I started about October 2018 by myself. I set up, having previously worked for nearly a decade in the city in oil and gas as a geologist. So for me, this, I guess, last year or so has been all about discovering a new industry, a new lifestyle, a new career. I didn't really just jump in with no idea what I was doing. I had built up skills on the furniture making side previously, but this was really the first time that I've had to do it as a business, I guess, as my own undertaking.
Fantastic, thank you. And Nikole, tell us about your journey.
Hi, my journey is a little bit like yours. I'm a fashion designer also, so I started a long time ago. I had my own fashion brand. I make bikinis. I moved to London on April, so now it's like I started with millinery, only millinery. But before I was working in costume design, I made millinery in the opera of Buenos Aires that is called Teatro Colón, and it's like now I'm starting from zero in London.
So both of you well practiced in the world of different industries or similar industries, but now going it alone for your own individual businesses. So what made you decide to apply for Hothouse, Sandy?
For me, it was quite an obvious next step, I guess. I'd built up a really good set of kind of the practical skills, I can make things to a good standard, but I don't have any real grounding in terms of the furniture industry or the craft industry. I stayed away from social media, and now I've got to get into social media, so that's something new. And so there's a lot of new skills away from the actual making of furniture that I need to get up to speed with, and Hothouse definitely offers all of those in terms of allowing me to progress, essentially.
Fantastic, thank you. And Nikole, how about yourself? Why apply to Hothouse?
I applied to Hothouse because as I was just arrived here, I wanted to, like, when I arrived, I knew that I had a lot of opportunities in London, but I'm starting from zero, so I know how to do my parts, but I don't have a clue of marketing or business, so I started to do my shop online, but I need help in a lot of things, so I don't know, like meeting people from the craft or...
So, continuing with you, Nikole, why is it important to you to invest in your business?
My business is my dream, is my passion, so I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next all the time, so the only thing that I think of is my business, is the most important thing to me. And I'm working on it. I think I'm doing well.
Thank you. And Sandy, same question.
I think it's similarly, it's kind of a whole lifestyle change, a dream in terms of a different way of working. I definitely didn't get on in the corporate world very well. I struggled a lot, not only with what I was doing, but just the environment. And I kind of ended up with some, I guess, mental health issues that weren't great. So this is a chance for me to kind of get out of that, to break a cycle and to do something that's actually quite rewarding and sustainable in the long run for me personally and for my family as well. Fantastic,
thank you. So sticking with you, Sandy, going to the next level of what are the challenges that you're facing right now in making those next steps in developing?
The biggest issue or challenge is getting out of the shed. It's really easy to make products. It's easy to... That's the bit I enjoy. That's the best part about it. So I could fill my house several times over if I just let myself. So I need to get out and I need to actually promote myself. Someone said to me that like 99.9% of people don't know you exist, and then of that, only a couple care. So you've got to go and find those people. So I'm trying to do that this year, I think.
Trying to find those people.
So this is a challenge, being here.
So Nikole, beyond talking on this panel, what is your challenge in developing your business?
When I was in Buenos Aires, I didn't have the materials or the tools or someone to teach me how to millinery, so I thought it was something bad, but now I feel like it's something good because my work is really different from the things that the traditional millinery from here, but it's like I need to find a place. And another challenge is that craft is like the places that I want to sell is they ask for a minimum amount of pieces, and there's always something that is not working for me to sell the things. So the biggest challenge is to find a place to sell the things.
Yeah. And I think both of you probably face a very similar challenge in the fact that it takes a long time to do your work, and also for Sandy, I should imagine scale's a big issue, and so with that in mind, it's kind of like, how do you find your audience to secure those commissioned pieces.
And also, I don't know how to put the price. Maybe I'm 7 days working in a piece, and then when I have to put the prices.
Yeah, so it's making that choice of what's going to make you money, what's going to keep you happy, and what's going to be a proper business. Yeah. So with that, can you share with us, Nikole, a short and a long-term goal?
So a short goal would be to finish my shop online that I already started it, and find a place to sell the things not online. And a long-time goal, I would love to have my pieces in a museum. Yes.
Fantastic. We've got quite a loud announcement going on at the moment, so just pause it.
Exhibitors with data caption events must return to registration by 4:30.
Okay. For those of you who didn't hear, was it sell on Amazon? No. What was it?
Not
what was the long? No. What was the
It
long
was
term
my
goal?
shop online, or maybe my shop online and find a place. I have the one place that I want to sell my things in the street market. And a long term, to have my pieces in a museum.
Museum. You see, that's how loud the announcement was. I'm sitting next to you. I can hear that. That'd be amazing to, have your piece collected in the museum. How about you, Sandy?
So I guess short term, this year is really getting the most out of Hothouse that I can. That's going to probably bring me the biggest benefit in terms of moving my business forward to the next stage. And then long term, it's really just about making it work. It's about making a sustainable business that I enjoy and that I can use to support my family.
Fantastic and really important, like you say, to be have a sustainable business that is, supporting a family. That's lovely. So why is goal setting important to you? Why is it an important part of the process? Do you want to start us off, Sandy?
If I don't set goals, like I said earlier, I would just make things in a shed and they would just collect in every room in the house. And also there's a lot of things that I don't like doing, or it's not that I necessarily don't like doing, but I don't know how to do, or they're harder. It's always easier to just go and do the thing that you know how to do. So by setting goals, it means that I can hold myself accountable to do the things that I should do that will progress things, but I don't necessarily know how to do or necessarily comfortable doing.
Fantastic. And Nikole?
Setting goals, it is something that keeps me focusing where I want to go, and it's like competition with myself all the time. Like, I can do it.
Brilliant. And what do you think is your biggest asset that you have right now for your business, Nikole? So I suppose, what do you have right now in place in your business that you think is, a different way of putting it, has the
Can I answer it for you?
Yes, thanks.
Maybe having listened to your kind of the backstory, it's more about the fact that you come from a different perspective for your work. So the different materials that you've used.
Okay.
So you have something that's a bit more unique rather than kind of traditional.
Okay. Yes,
approach.
maybe all the milliners here have the same kind of education, and I have mine is totally different. So I can make hats out of anything. So maybe that's it's like something that I'm just starting to
Definitely, a really big asset. But I think also for those that don't know about your work, your connections with the opera industry, the theatre industry, as well as the fashion industry, I think it's a really good starting point for your
Yes.
business. Definitely. And Sandy.
I think for me, it's just it's all the skills that I've built so far. I've spent quite a lot of time kind of learning a lot of the processes of furniture making, which over the years I didn't really know why I was doing it. It was just enjoyable, but now that's basically it's in the back. So I think that's probably my biggest asset. Without that, I don't have anything.
Yeah, fantastic. And one final question, which I really like this question, a nice one to end on. What is making you happy right now about your business or your practice? Sandy, do you want to start?
I've got quite a lot to look forward to this year. I've got Hothouse coming up. I've scheduled time between commissions to do some of my own work, which is really exciting but slightly terrifying because obviously it's not paid work until you sell it. But I am really excited about actually having the opportunity to kind of make something that's 100% me and not kind of based on a brief. So that should be really exciting, and hopefully I'll exhibit that later in the year around August, I guess.
Fantastic. And Nikole?
For me, like deciding to stay to live here and starting to say yes, 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 and seeing that everything is working. I'm so happy. Like now, I have this Hothouse coming, and I'm working at Burberry, and I have the Fashion Week coming. So a lot of things that I never even imagined that would happen to me are happening. So I enjoy a lot what's happening to me.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I think to summarize, what is the key to success in setting up a business? I think it's sort of being really open to opportunities and realizing that you have to get out of the shed, setting goals, and looking to what strengths that you have already in your business and how you can utilize that by connecting with other people, other organizations to strengthen your business, to enable you to have the skills to go forward. Yeah, thank you very much. We do have some time for questions. Are there any questions?
I have a question. So we did a session earlier in the week about storytelling in craft, and it was really interesting hearing you say, Nikole, that actually it was Sandy, I guess, applying it, but how that story is really your biggest asset. It's such a point of difference. So Caroline, firstly, as a talent development manager, how can you work with people to actually help them fine-tune what their story is and how they communicate that? And then for both Nikole and Sandy, I guess, how do you develop your story in such a way that it helps you communicate more about your brand and what you do and create that point of difference?
Sure. So I suppose there's three ways that we would approach helping people work on their story. Initially, we can provide those resources that people can look through and sort of have a better understanding about how to work on their unique selling points, how to be authentic and consistent with messaging, and how to sort of tap into the audiences that you want to aim for and you think your work is right for through research and development. We also have done workshops and talks where we can sort of get down to the nitty-gritty of what people want and need from us, and so we can answer a little bit more bespoke questions and concerns that are flagged up, or what is a particular missing element of skills for those individuals. And finally, we can offer one-to-one advice sessions, and that's very much getting to the heart of what people want from their business. And everyone is different. I've been in this industry for a long time. And yes, A lot of the sort of skills required are similar, but everyone's story really in a way is different. Everyone's needs are different, and so you can sort of like tailor that so that it's truly becomes a part of their core values, and helps them to be authentic and realise this is fine to be who I am. So and help them on a set of action points. So yeah, that's how we would do it. So for you?
I quite like that last, but it's fine to be who you are. It took me 10 years in an office to work that one out. I'm not sure I have a good answer, to be honest. I think that's partly why I've applied to Hothouse. I have a story by default, as it were, and I have a set of skills. But yeah, working out how to portray that and to get it out to a market that's appropriate is well beyond my skill set, as opposed to plugging something into Instagram. So it's one of the things I'm really looking forward to developing.
It's the same with me. I don't think I'm really good at selling myself or telling a story, so that's why I'm looking forward to learn.
Brilliant. And I know that Dan Good came and did a talk earlier in the week, and he's involved with our Hothouse program. So we have experts like Dan to sort of help our designer makers really sort of work on how they talk about their work as well as what they verbally say in written text. So, yeah.
Hi, thanks for that. It's the first I've heard of Hothouse, so I was just curious to hear more about it, which you pretty much just answered that largely. But also I want to know what kind of criteria you look for when you're making a decision about who to take on to Hothouse.
Hothouse is for people that are between 1 and 4 years of starting their business, and they need to have an element of making at the core of their business. They have to be UK based, and also I think because it is, as you can imagine, quite competitive, we look for people that can demonstrate how a program like Hothouse can help them. And we're quite rigorous in the selection process. We have an anonymised section, which is just all about your images. So something that I say a lot at talks is have good images of your work. It's so fundamentally important, that first-hand impact. And then if you get through that level, then we have an external panel of experts that sift it down to I think it's 50 to interview, and then we select from that, because it's really important that we meet the makers that are involved and see that the program's right for them. There's no point in accepting people if it's not the right program for them. And we always provide feedback to people that haven't been successful. We always looked for ways to signpost if we can't take them on board, because we can only accept 26 makers, so it's very competitive, but we're always there to help in other ways if it's not the program for you. One more question over there.
Keeping me fit this afternoon.
Hi, thanks for that. Do you have any tips for designers that are based in rural areas? Yeah, if there's anything that might need tweaking, if they're not based in cities or places like London where there's lots of things going on and you can always find resources. Yeah, do you have any tips for people like me?
I think the one great thing now, we live in a world where so much is digital. Having a sort of clear, consistent voice of who you are, and finding the right channel for you to communicate that, and not overwhelming yourself by overcommitting yourself to too many things, too many channels. People like face-to-face interactivity. And if you are not in a position that you can take a stand at a fair like Top Drawer, there are other organisations that you can link to, and you could either take a stand alongside. Design Nation is just an example of that. Or it's just an opportunity to get out there and chat to other people, chat to other makers, because it is very isolating, and whoever you can connect to locally, and you'll be surprised what local support there is through your local Chamber of Commerce, your local bank to chat to, the local independent shops to go and speak to. Everybody likes to support local. And I think really sing about the fact that where you're based is really integral to your business, and how you source things. And I think, just keep connected. I think sometimes when you're based in a city, there are different issues. But there is, which you might not be aware of, the Rural Business Awards. And they obviously support people that are just linked in the rural areas. And it's sort of connecting up to sort of industry bodies that can support people that are in certain areas would help. Any other questions? Well, I think that's it from us. Thank you so much to Sandy and Nikole, and for Top Drawer to invite us here this afternoon. And if you do have any questions, do just visit Crafts Council online, which is craftscouncil.org.uk. Support makers and designers. And I believe that is a wrap for Top Drawer. Come back next year for another enthralling lineup of talks. Thank you.